Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry, been a long time, but we're back. We've got some more progress on the J44, so we'll get right to it here. I got a bunch of material, and it's all regarding the accessory drive housing. So I'm going to show you basically where we started from the beginning to the end, getting it installed on, reconditioned and installed back onto the engine. Long story short, there was damage done to the original accessory drive housing that you saw on this engine running in my videos. There evidently had been corrosion, moisture inside the gearbox at some time previous in its life, and of course it was pretty noisy, and upon disassembly we found that about 3 of the bearings inside of that drive were seized up. They were ball bearings, but they were frozen, and the entire outer race was spinning with the inner race, and the balls, everything was spinning. So it was spinning the race in the housing, which you know is not good. I'm actually surprised there wasn't more damage than there was. However, at that point, the parts engine that I had obtained to repair this engine, the donor parts engine, which gave us the like new condition combustion chamber, turbine rotor, and turbine stator, also had a beautiful condition accessory drive housing. However, it had been sitting for a long time, and a couple of bearings were a little bit noisy regardless, maybe some rust, we're not sure. So I replaced all the bearings in the accessory drive housing. I matched them up, and then had the housing cleaned, and we painted it, got it together. So okay, as an aside, Agent Jay-Z, he has a line of clothes and accessories, neat little things with his logo on it. He mentioned that in his latest video, so I want to promote that and say, why don't you go check out redbubble.com. All right, it's called redbubble.com. REDBUBBLE. It's all one word, but you know, it's the internet. Just type it in. And if you look under Agent Jay-Z, he has a whole line of shirts and jackets. He has pins and travel mugs. So I got me a shirt here, and I got a coffee mug, and this is the Jet City. Let's get her right here. All right, there's our coffee mug. Cool. I haven't used it yet, but I will. And we'll get some more things. Got a piece of paper here, and need to look at it, verify I've covered everything. A lot has happened. We got a lot of material to cover, so let's get to it. We're going to show you the original accessory drive housing in its poor condition, and then we're going to show you the replacement. Then we will go ahead and proceed to show you my new bearings, and then we're going to go to Bomar Industries. So Mark and I are going to press the old bearings off, press new bearings on, and he had to fabricate a couple of little special tools, shims, if you want to call them, and some little circular pieces of metal to press on the end of the shaft or on the bearing race without hitting the shaft. So it was very persnickety. We had some pretty close. So Mark helped me out there getting the old bearings off, press the new ones on, then we'll bring it back here and I'll show you. I'm sure it'll probably take at least 3 videos to cover this assembly from start to finish. Okay, well, let's take a look then, and we'll show you what we got, and then we'll do a wrap up. Here really quick, this is what I replaced with the accessory drive that we've been discussing and restoring in this series of videos. This is the original gearbox that was attached to the J44 that I bought that started all this adventure way back when, 3 years ago. As you can see, it's not very good inside. This is some kind of a material here. It's a pinkish purple. Looks like raspberry. I don't know if that was some kind of preservative, but there's a bit of a buildup here in the very bottom. There's some gunk, or that wasn't as alarming as the failure of these bearings. In this bearing is seized as well. As you can see, that will not turn. Okay, so there's a seized bearing. So I don't know, when I drained the oil out, I never saw any signs of water or any kind of contamination, no rust. But however, as you can see, we have bad bearings. So I'm assuming this housing is probably not usable. That's why I was using the parts engine. That housing was in immaculate condition. Be aware when you buy engines, sometimes they've been sitting around. It could have been sitting outside at some time or another and had gotten water in it, water had entered and then it had been left sitting. So I'm going to keep this for reference for back parts. You know, we don't throw anything away, us collectors and hoarders. So you never know. It's possible this could be used in an emergency after some repair. So then you take this old box that boots had a pair of work boots in here, and then you just set this dude right in here. And now we have a box to store your old junk. There it is. Now it goes in a shed somewhere at the bottom of a pot, just in case. That's that. Okay, here we go. I'm going to lift this off here so you can kind of see what's inside. This has been cleaned up and actually it's been painted. It's been painted to match the compressor and intake housing, so this is actually not powder coated. This is actually spray on it, enamel, automotive finish. I know it sounds crazy, but I really wanted it to look good and match. So we'll lift this off here. See, easy, and we'll turn it over so you can see the inside. Now this is pretty nice stuff. It's been coated and painted on the inside, I guess, to preserve, help reduce corrosion. This is in relatively good shape, so new bearings, new seals, the same gear set, which are in good condition. We'll go in here. If you look at this side, this is the side that faces the engine. So what we have here is, these are the open side of the bearings, and this is sealed. There's a gasket where it attaches to the intake and the intake housing. And all this can have oil in it. However, the oil level is very, very low. But it's nevertheless, this is allowed to be wet. Whereas, obviously, the front, we don't want oil coming out of here. This is where our accessories bolt. So these have shaft seals pressed in. So there's a quick view of that, of the accessory drive gear housing. And we will go ahead and get more video together as I progress on getting it started reassembling. Here are the accessory drive gear set, or gears. Here is the accessory drive gear set. Okay, now we have the gears somewhat facing the direction they would if they were up, would be the front of the engine. Down is toward the rear of the engine. So this is our input gear, input shaft. This connects directly with the starter generator drive. And here you can see that it has an internal spline also, just like the back side of this one. All right, from this input gear, we connect to this intermediate gear, or idler. But it also has two gears that we could see until I turned it over. But this is how it sits in the housing. So what we got here is this upper gear on my input will drive this large gear here, the idler or intermediate gear set. These two smaller gears here will then in turn drive this shaft, this gear and this shaft, which is our fuel pump and fuel control and governor coupling or input. You can see it has a spline shaft. It's a spline shaft coupling. And the other gear here, this is our tach generator. So for our tachometer engine RPM, percent RPM, that drives this, which connects to the pickup. Alright, so that is a simple, very simple system. There are no other hydraulic pumps and there are no oil pumps on this engine, so that's all you need. Alright, we have some pieces here that Mark has made some shim tool type. We'll see how he uses these. He's going to use these basically to remove, and we're going to remove these old bearings which are pressed on in order to change them. I got new bearings for the accessory drive gear set, and these have to be carefully removed. And we got some various spacer and press tools. He's made these to reinstall the bearings in. We're also going to change these seals here. So we're going to see how that works here shortly. It looks like still a little on there.
Oh, yeah, it's on there, but I'm shocked that it's pushing it out of the bearing.
Holler if you need a third hand. Third hand, same.
Oh, that won't work, dumbass. Idiot.
It has to fit in between, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Look and see what I need.
Piece of
Yep. All right, we want to put one back on that one before we go to the other side.
That's the big dog, isn't it? No,
Or we can, you know what, it might make it easier to push that. Well, we probably gotta push that one on now. I can still get to that.
That's odd. So the gear slides on a shaft, and you hit the shaft, so it's suspended in the bearing.
By a little keyway.
Oh, okay, it is keyed to there.
It's keyed right there. See it?
Yeah. What's the purpose of making all them little pieces?
No clue.
Why wouldn't you make that gear one shaft, one piece?
Cheaper.
Okay. I guess that's what Bruce would have looked at me and said, Darren, what do you mean? He always does that.
Where's your
Bearings?
right here?
Is that what you're saying? Go ahead and put another one.
Yeah, I think we ought to put one on there, don't you think? Don't you think?
Well, I mean, it'd be easier to keep track of it.
Right.
So wait a minute, 06.
I mean, it might make pressing this one off easier if we press it off now, but you want to do that?
I mean, yeah, I mean,
That's only a one shim one right here.
as long as we keep track of what's where, I think we're okay. Oh yeah, the shaft.
The gear's floating.
Yeah, the gear doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Some of that green paint. Do you have any of that, or is that hard to mix up so I can touch up?
Yeah.
Can you make like a half an ounce or something, just so I can take a artist brush?
Yep. Bearings feel better than the other ones. I think they were a little rough. The other bearings
bearings.
Yeah.
So I've got some clicking in them. Can you get that one apart?
Should be able to.
And I took the other one home with me that we did last time. You was able to do without a press. You're saying right, you're not saying yes. You took that home with you. I did. That's all we had left were these 3 shafts. I don't know why the one was just slid on, and the rest of them were pressed. It's going. You ready to catch it?
Can't hardly do that.
It's just a splash oil. So splash it in. It moved.
Stop.
Is that one facing the other one?
Oh,
Face. Probably. I mean, I don't know. It might matter. Right. Oil.
sorry.
Well, you just put your little fork on it. Unfork it. It's only part. It's not even on there. Like
No, it's
just
not.
partly. You need your special pressing bolt.
Where'd my bolt go? Raise that up a little bit higher. Will you?
Yeah. More.
That's good. What do you think, Dave?
Ready?
Yep.
I want to know what you're going to hook the jet up to. Is what I want to know.
He's got a Chevy, so it needs all the. So he's gonna use it for nitrous.
And it gives it a boost.
Go ahead.
Do I need to press it down
Yeah.
through the back? Is that how it goes out?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't moving.
Well, then lift it back up.
What I'm doing, I don't know if it's me or you. Looks like it come through. I just not use. I'm not putting much force on it
It's the right
either.
direction. Hang on a minute.
There's a big bar there above your head. You think it's got a tiny shoulder on it?
No, it doesn't have a shoulder on it. And it's just a clear. There is no shoulder.
No, we're not really trying with this wheel, right? Does that wheel have a little bit? It has a little bit of torque.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a different category.
Did you get your stuff last week?
I think I did. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I'm not the world's best at it, but
I didn't know if you were union and you were was it break time or what? How it worked?
no, it says union. I just wanted to know for the period.
Did go through, didn't it?
Yep.
Okay, that'll conclude this this video. So we're gonna call it Accessory Drive Restoration Part 1. All right. Well, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your interest and for viewing. And I'm gonna get the next video out here. There'll be probably about 2 more videos coming out here, hopefully pretty soon. So we'll get you caught up. And we're making progress and heading that direction of getting done. Again, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you shortly.